Hello and welcome to another special interview edition of GasCast. This time I'm joined by a Rovers cult hero, a man who has had bountiful amounts of stickers plastered up and down the country, including the dance floor of a confused indie nightclub in Cheltenham, and a man who even has his own catchphrase. Please welcome Nathan 1-0 Blissett. How you doing, Nate?
When did that catchphrase come into play?
have you ever never heard 1-0 Blissett?
Never in my life, no.
Oh my God. So yeah, if you ever look on Rovers Twitter or the Rovers forums, right, there was this catchphrase that done the rounds like a lot. Basically just 1-0 Blissett. I think on the forums there would be like predictions for the match. And there'd be like so many people just posting 1-0 Blissett, 1-0 Blissett. It just became a massive thing. And you weren't aware of that?
I had no idea. No idea.
That is incredible.
That's brilliant.
Yes, I even don't know myself how it came about, but just on forums and Twitter, it just took off that you were always going to be the man who scored. And
to get the goal.
Yeah.
Wow,
so not only had you got all the stickers, so let's start with the stickers. So you know about the stickers, right?
Yeah, I know about the stickers. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, have you finally got to the bottom of what those stickers were all about?
I feel like someone did message me. Like, obviously, it's 6 years or something now. I feel like someone messaged me saying I was the guy that ordered like 500 stickers and decided to start putting them about, and it just caught on from there. And yeah, I just got messages from everyone saying, is this you, off my Facebook and whatnot. And yeah, it just went from everywhere. And I think like people just went to different places in the UK as well, stuck up the sticker and put it on social media and stuff. It's just funny. It's hilarious, really.
Yeah, it was mad. So I mentioned it in the intro. There was a nightclub in Cheltenham, Propaganda, and they tweeted out a picture of your sticker on the dance floor, basically saying, what the hell is this? So, I mean, there was a lot of confused people up and down the country. So, I mean, what did you make of it? It must have been pretty weird for you to see your face plastered about all over the shop.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if it was the first. I think it was the first year I was there, so it was nice to know that the fans were taking to me and stuff, and it was such a big club. So I just took it in my stride. I thought, oh, maybe this is what everyone else is getting, kind of thing. Little did I know it was a bit special for myself, but it was just all fun and games. Really, it was good bit of banter from the fans, and I just enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it first started with Colo Tory because it is kind of
that's it. Yeah, that's
face up in like the stratosphere. There is no need to be upset. So yeah, like you say, Rovers fans really, really took you. I mean, is there any kind of reason behind it? Do you reckon, or was it a bit mad for you?
Yeah, I don't think like I've done anything special that or stand out like that made me into some kind of cult hero, but maybe it's just a culmination of different things that people just liked about me or things that happened that just, grew me to that kind of status. But, I'll take it with both hands, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think people just warmed to you, really. You seem like a really nice bloke, and then you sign and you seem really happy to be at Rovers. So, I mean, how did the move come about? So you're playing for Kidderminster and you scored against Rovers early in the season?
I suppose that probably started it off, I had probably my best game of the season against Rovers. It was like Memorial Day. It was a big thing, we had the trumpets going before the game. Full house, and I just wanted to impress, and that was probably the biggest game I'd played in at that point. So yeah, I played the best game I've ever played for Kidderminster. Scored the equaliser. I think I scored the opening goal.
I think it's the opener. Yeah.
I scored the opening goal. Yeah, and then obviously that was a Saturday. By the Wednesday, at training at Kidderminster, I had all the boys looking at me a bit weird. I'm looking at them like, what's wrong? Have I got something on my face? What? And then one of them's like, don't try and play it down. And at this point, I had absolutely no clue what was going on. I was like, play what down? I was like, what are you going on, yeah? I was like, nah, I'm just coming into training. You know about it. It's like, no, you go into Bristol, so you all know about it. was like,
Wow.
news to me, mate. And I didn't have an agent at this point. So the manager, Gaz Wild, he got me in the office and said, listen, they're interested in you. They want you to go. What do you think? I was like, yeah, of course. I'll drive there now if they want me to. And then I was going to carry on training. And one of the boys was like, no. You can't train now, mate. You don't want to wreck anything. Like, you just stay here and wait and get it all sorted out. So yeah, literally the boys went off to training. They came back. And by that time, I'd sorted it all out with Bristol Rovers, kind of my contract and what I wanted, this, that, and the other. And that same day, I was off down to Bristol. Like, didn't have anything on me at all.
Wow.
Literally went down and signed on the Wednesday afternoon, yeah. And then I was living in Bristol from then.
I mean, that sounds like a whirlwind. So before that day, did you know anything about it? There's some rumours that Darrell Clarke spoke to you in the change room after the game. Is it any truth in that?
No, there's no truth in that. No, nothing like that. I literally had no idea. There was no communication with me until that point on the Wednesday, really, that I was going to go. So yeah.
And was it quite an easy decision to make then? Because, I mean, no disrespect to Kidderminster, but obviously Rovers just come down from the Football League and obviously quite a big step up.
Like, obviously, everyone knows about Bristol Rovers, all up and down the country. So it was a no-brainer when I got told. And I spoke to Darrell on the Wednesday and he said, listen, if you want to play some good football and whatnot, get yourself down there and we can get you there. So that was enough for me. I know he wanted me at the time. And yeah, it was the perfect career move at the time for me to go and do it. I was like 22, 23. And that was, my first proper experience of, Kidderminster was full-time and everything like that. It was professional. But, to play for a big club, yeah, that was the first time. So, yeah, both hands grabbed it.
So what was your career like before Kidderminster then?
So I didn't have one. I was playing football at university, playing semi-professional football after that for a year. And then if the story behind it goes, Jamil Matt was at Kidderminster Harriers. He plays for Newport County now. But he had problems with his visa and whatnot, so he couldn't play. He was ineligible to play for them for like 6 months. So they needed another striker to come in. And I was doing relatively well at Romulus, which was the semi-professional team I was playing for. And at the time, Marvin Johnson, who's now at Middlesbrough, he's at Middlesbrough now. At the time, he was playing for them as well. And Kidderminster were watching him. I came on off the bench and scored an absolute worldie from like the tightest angle
of course you did.
Ever imaginable.
1-0 Blissett.
1-0 Blissett. Literally, it was a 1-0 Blissett.
Of course it was.
To win the game. And then maybe 2-3 weeks after he moves to Kidderminster, he's calling me saying, Nathan, like, they want you. Like, Bliss, they want you. Do you want to come? So I was like, yeah, I'll quit my job today. And that was kind of one of the things as well. Yeah, I quit my job. That's another reason maybe why people love me so much. Cult hero is because I worked for British Gas.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I think that was spoken about a bit. Yeah, that's a great connection.
So that kind of, everyone kind of warmed to me. Oh, he worked for British Gas, now he's playing for the Gas kind of thing, this and the other. That kind of, eased
if it was in the stars for you to join us, I reckon.
Yeah, definitely. Everything aligned really with what happened, and it came to fruition. So yeah.
And I mean, you've got football pedigree in the family, haven't you? Blissett is your uncle. Did you consult him before the move?
No, not really. So with my uncle, I didn't really speak to him much throughout my childhood. Probably coming into the football arena. In my own kind of way, we kind of rekindled and got back in touch and stuff. And from then on, he was always, like a shoulder to not cry on, but an ear to give good advice and whatnot, and always bounce my ideas off him. So yeah, from then on, we've always spoken.
Yes, I mean, quite a lot gets made of that, actually. So it's only really through kind of football that you talk about. Obviously, he's got a wealth of experience when it comes to it. So yeah. Was that quite useful?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's always nice to know, like, my name carries weight in that respect. And it also made me kind of want to give the name it's justified, pedigree and show people that off my own back, I've got something to give as well. Do you know what I mean? So wherever I went, it was always, oh, are you related to Lee from Blissett? Are you related to Lee from Blissett kind of thing?
Yeah.
But it's nice to kind of have the notoriety of your own kind of skill and what you bring to the table.
Yeah, make a name for you in your own right. So when you joined Rovers, you obviously spoke to Darrell Clarke. How important was he in you joining the Gas?
Well, he was very enthusiastic about getting me. That was the one thing. And he literally wanted me that day. He was like, get yourself down here. So it wasn't a long conversation. It wasn't a lot. He didn't need to sell me in the club or anything like that. But he seemed enthusiastic. He seemed what's the word? He seemed like he knew what he wanted, and he knew what he wanted to do, and he had a vision of how he wanted to do it. So I bought into that straight away, and it was from then it was a done deal.
And why do you reckon he was so successful as a manager? If you could put your finger on it.
Very successful. He was meticulous in what he wanted to do. Every game was a different game plan. He changed it. He wasn't afraid to change it.
Projects.
Yeah.
Did that raise any eyebrows within the camp, or were you all fully behind?
No, that year that we went up from the National League, all the boys were fully locked in to what he wanted to do. Like I remember I scored a game, and then I came off. I was on the bench the next game. Then I came on, I scored, and it was absolutely fine. Like the way it went about, because everyone could see what we were doing, and it was quite open in that respect. In the first shows there, he was very open in what he wanted to do, and everyone knew what was going on. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't really say there was any clicks or anything like that. Everyone knew what was going on, and everyone could see what happened on the pitch from that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it seemed like his philosophy was signing young, up-and-coming players, hungry players who had something to prove. So what's the squad like at the time? Well,
I'm pretty sure all the squad have gone on to play higher in the league. I mean, like, Matty Taylor was brilliant. Ellis Harrison, when I went there, Ellis was kind of like a backup striker that was a youth team kind of thing, but after that season, he was amazing. Towards the end of the season, he got that fire underneath his feet, and after that, he was just amazing. Lee Brown, Tom Parks, and he had the old boys like Lee Mansell, Monkhouse. He's a funny guy, Monkhouse, very funny guy.
Yeah, him and Lee Brown, their partnership around on the left.
Yeah, on the left side. Yeah, yeah, it really was. It was kind of unorthodox because obviously Monkhouse was a tall, kind of gangly, not really pacey, but it worked. It worked for us, and
it gave time for Brownie to bomb on and get past him.
Yeah, exactly. He was an absolute machine, Brian. Absolute machine in the Bristol Rovers days. So yeah, we just had everything really. And then Lindsay came in, that bit of culture in class. He was real silky on the ball, Lindsay. And obviously Ollie Clarke as well in the middle. He could shoot from anywhere. We had a bit of everything, and it just all worked out really. Yeah.
So you had some real good pros there who've played at quite a high level. Did any of them give you some good advice that has stuck with you?
Not really.
I bet Mance is listening to this right now. He's
probably screwing at his screen. He probably has. I'll be honest. He probably has.
Went in one ear and out the other.
Maybe at the time, I was trying to take everything in, but there was some good pros there. Steve Mildenall, the goalkeeper at the time, like you say, Mance, Monkhouse, so like you just kind of copied what they done really.
Yeah,
and you knew you'd be in good stead.
And I mean, you were still developing as a player. You said you're quite young. In terms of coaching, did you get specific coaching for your game? You had obviously Marcus Stewart there. He was a prolific striker.
He was brilliant for me, to be honest. He really was. Every week, me and him, we done something just to, sharpen up my game. And it was literally every week or 2-3 times after training, it would be me and him by myself kind of thing, which was great one-to-one. 'cause I didn't really have that growing up. So like I kind of came into it late, so I had to kind of catch up a lot. But yeah, I would say massive respect to Marcus Stewart for what he done for me while I was there.
Yeah, because I mean, most players at that level, especially League Two, and you played League One for a bit, would have had like academy experience, so that real coached ethos. You potentially a bit more of a role play, kind of coming up the more organic way and really enjoying your football. So were there things you learned from the likes of Marcus Stewart that was new to you?
Definitely. He definitely cultured me into an actual striker. I mean, when I was coming through, everyone used to say I was very raw. I was a raw talent. I used to kind of take offence to that slightly, but in honesty, it was the truth because I had talent, but not in the right ways, how to play the game. So I could do certain things that a lot of people couldn't, but it wasn't effective in the game. So it was teaching me how to, mold me really into, being a proper striker.
Because I mean, it is really impressive for you to get to the level you did without that background, I would say. Yeah. But yeah, I suppose there's kind of pros of it, like you say, doing a few different bits, but then there's the kind of the coaching you get as a youngster, which is just kind of in you when you start playing competitive matches. So let's talk a bit about the promotion campaign. I mean, it was probably Rovers' biggest season, I would say, in our history. First time we've been relegated to non-league. How important did that season feel to you?
Well, it was important for me regardless because of the way I was the first player that Rovers spent money on for however many years.
Did you know how important promotion was for the club? Did you get a sense of that?
I mean, yes and no. Promotion from that league is important for any team. We nearly got promoted with Kidderminster the year before, and missing out on that was devastating. And for a club to come down from the league, it's so hard to get back up first time of trying, and if you don't, it's so hard to get out again. Like only 2 go up. It's the mandate to get out is imperative, really. So for a big club like Bristol to be there for one was criminal almost. So yeah, to be fair, it was imperative for us to get out of that league, and first time trying. So the fact that we did it, and we rose to the expectation, was amazing.
Yeah, and I mean, you must have missed this time, but Rovers didn't get off to the best of starts in the National League campaign. I mean, there was posters of Darrell Clarke up in the training ground saying for him to leave. Right. So I mean, it was a real tricky start. But remember that at the back end of the season, you're in a great run of form. So I mean, it was always looking kind of playoffs for the vast majority of the season. Then it looked like we could catch Barnet, and I mean the pivotal moment came away at Dover. I mean, we dropped 2 vital points late on. What was your memories of that game and the mood afterwards?
I think that game, I didn't have the best of games. That game was it 2-2? Did it finish?
I think it was 1-1. Will Puddy maybe got fouled for the Dover goal. And it was
did they score late on? Did it?
They scored in like the 88th minute, and it was a real sucker punch because
I think maybe that was for us to stay top or go top.
We would either gone top or stay top, but that effectively would have meant we got promoted as champions because it was just Alfreton left the final game of the season, and right. to be winning and then lose it late on and. No,
that's hard to take. To be fair, trying to think back to it, Darrell Clarke, it was still so upbeat about it, and I kind of think he had to be in a sense of because he knew what was coming afterwards. So we didn't really dwell on it. To it's not that I can remember. We didn't really dwell on those points because we still felt going in for the playoffs we'd do it. So yeah, there wasn't really much. And any really hangover over that.
That's interesting because from a fan's perspective, that felt horrendous. I was like,
Right.
we'd done put in so much. You put in so much good work to get to that position, and then kind of lose it late on was a real gut punch. But I remember quite vividly the Alfreton game, which I think finished 7-0, the final game of the season, and Barnet, they ended up winning, so it was the playoffs for us. Again, remember that team huddle on the pitch after the game? What was said in that huddle? Was it similar things to what you were saying just then?
Yeah, definitely. I think it was just okay. We know where we are now. We've just got 3-4 more games to get it right, and give the fans what they deserve, kind of thing. Like that, he wasn't a man to hold on to things like disappointment. Was how to improve on the next one and straight away onto the next project. So yeah, there was no real finger pointing or because we'd done so well anyway. It was a case of just not enough. So yeah, there really wasn't any kind of bad feeling. It was right. We got to go to Wembley, and that was it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you could see that in the playoff semi-final. I mean, it was a pretty comprehensive win over a decent Forest Green side, and then it
was good game. That I enjoyed that game. Really enjoyed that game.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously it was the away leg first, so it was a 1-0, of course, a 1-0 victory against Forest Green. You weren't on the score sheet, unfortunately, for that one, and then
I didn't play in that game.
Yeah,
I played in the home game at Memorial Stadium, and that again that would have been the biggest game I've played in my career.
Yeah, it was a great atmosphere. I remember it was an early kickoff. Yeah. Actually, I got a speeding ticket trying to get to that game because I wasn't living in Bristol. It was well worth it. That Linesy goal, that was a big moment. What was that like to be a part of?
Amazing, like the raw. I'm just remembering it now. Like that was real good. That might be up there with my favourite games. Actually, thinking about it now.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, that was going to be a fan question. I was going to ask later. So yeah, it's interesting. It's the Forest Green second leg game, not the Grimsby final. What was that like to play in? I mean,
I think you got to put that in another category, kind of thing. Because obviously playing at Wembley, that already ticks everyone else's boxes. So that's by itself. But yeah, I would say Wembley was when Mance's goal went in. And we were all running towards him. I remember just jumping in the air. It's probably the highest I've ever jumped in my life. Just like you say, all that work that you've done, and it's just come to fruition. Then in that one moment, that is undescribable. Yeah, that was massive.
Pure ecstasy, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
And there's that great picture of Mark McChrystal. He goes to his knees and he's just in floods of tears.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, for the club, it was massive, and obviously with the disappointment of missing out on automatic promotion and the final itself. I mean, it wasn't a classic, was it, Nate? It was really dogged and scrappy.
To be fair, it was two good teams. Like they were a good side as well. Do you know what I mean? And it could have gone either way. It was 1-1, wasn't it? It finished. And it was like one of the biggest attendances of National League history for the final. I think 45.
It was about that. Yeah.
So there was a lot. You got to think when the players are seeing all that, and it bears down on you. If you look at Wembley on the TV, it looks massive, and it is. But when you're on that pitch, it almost feels smaller than like normal pitches.
Interesting.
Honestly, like it kind of encloses you a bit.
Yeah, is that because you got so many fans and on top of it feels like? Yeah. Talk me through the start of the game, because we got off to an absolute shocker when 1-0 down. And
was it a mistake?
It kind of dribbled into the net. Didn't it?
I remember the goal because I had a good friend of mine, Josh Garling. He was injured during that game, but he played for Grimsby. So he was sat in the dugout opposite me on the same level, so I could see him, he could see me. And when it went in, we both kind of looked at each other, and he kind of just gave me I was like one of them ones. Yeah, for the build up and everything to happen, and you know, we were really at it in the warm up. For it to kind of happen like that and you know go down, it was a massive kind of sucker punch that we weren't expecting. Not like that anyway. So we kind of felt like we gifted it to him a little bit there, but we were galvanised. And did Ellis scored in the second half? Was it the first?
I think it was the end of the first half. Was it? Yeah, I think it was the end of the first half. I seem to remember it was a corner, and it was his left peg, wasn't it? And
yeah, left peg. Yeah,
connected really well. Yeah, we'll have to look that one up. But I think the end of the first half. But yeah, that felt like a massive goal. I mean, of course, in a National League playoff final.
I think if you wanted it to fall to anyone in that season, it would have been him, because he just was on fire. Like, I'm not sure what game it was where he just turned it on, but honestly, it was hard keeping up with him. I remember I played with him at Kidderminster when we went there with Bristol Rovers, and it was me and him up top. And obviously, I wanted to impress because it was my old club, and I thought I was playing out of my skin, and I was doing so well. But then he was just playing at almost higher level, and it was just so impressive for someone at a young age. I think he might have only been 20 then.
Yeah,
that was his real breakout season. I'm glad to see him, you know, go on to do so well.
Yeah, and he kind of felt like a complete player even at that young age. I think Rovers fans forget how young he was, because he broke through into the first team like so young. But yeah, it's still only 20 odd. I want to talk to you about extra time. So you came on in the 80th minute in the playoff final. A few people have tweeted me. I've totally forgot this, because I mean, I can't remember a load of the game actually, because it was so tense. Offside decision in extra time.
Yeah, bollocks. I don't think it was. I don't think it was extra time. Was it extra time, or was it the end of normal? But yeah, it might have been Lindsay that played me. I was already running before he played me, and I'm pretty sure I was onside. I know I was onside. But yeah, it was close, and I would have been through and on goal. And to be fair, thinking about it now, how scary the situation would have been, because I was bearing it on goal. It was in front of all of the Bristol Rovers supporters.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it now, like, Jesus, imagine if I'd gone through and I missed, or like that would have been.
I mean, that's real like hero or villain stuff. So it could have been up in lights. Like, you're already in Rovers folklore, but like if you scored that, like even
that would have been amazing. Yeah, like to score there, to win the game in front of all of them, or you know, could have gone the other way. But yeah, I was robbed of that opportunity.
I would have backed you, Nate. And then obviously it went to penalty shootout. You didn't have to take one. What number were you?
I'm not even sure. I'm not the best at penalties, to be honest with you. I'll take one. I've got no problem taking one. I might have been 6th or 7th, but we had our takers. We had, you know, Lindsay. We also took on Brown, Clarke, maybe.
Yeah, but Balanta, he's got a good penalty.
Balanta, yeah, he's nice and cool. So yeah, we had a good arsenal of penalty takers. But yeah, I would have took one when and where. I think I might have been 6th or 7th. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, we did have some great penalty takers. Not sure about Browners. I think
it kind of.
Did he claim that one?
He claimed it, mate. You got to claim it. It's Wembley. Claim it. All 100%.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. And then obviously Mansell, ice cool. It was a great penalty under extreme pressure.
Yeah. Very good player. Very good pro as well. I feel like he could have played longer. Obviously, I don't know his situation, but he was real fit as well.
Yeah, he said as much himself, actually. But I think Darrell offered him a coaching role, a full-time coaching role. So it's like, if you want to stay here, it's going to be in a coaching capacity.
Right, okay.
So yeah, I think he weighed up whether he would go to another club to keep playing. But Yeah, he's still a coach at Rovers now, and he's kind of progressed.
Oh, is he? Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah, you see him on the touchline. He's got like the headset we've got on now.
Oh yeah,
he does all the chatting with
the Rovers first team.
Yeah, he's involved
Okay,
with the first
awesome.
team setup now.
Yeah,
which is great. It's always lovely to see.
Yeah, he would always. He's one of them players you knew that was always going to go on in football onto management or some capacity. So yeah, it's good to see that.
And I want to talk about the partying after the playoff final. What was that like?
Yeah, that was an eye opener. I went to uni, so I know about partying.
Yeah, I remember there's a photo of you dressed as a Smurf doing the rounds. Was that from your university days?
That was my university days.
Yeah, I think that was another thing that helped get you into a cult hero status.
What? I like to dress up in blue.
Yeah, it was the right colours again. British Gas.
Yeah. True.
You had
blue
it all.
And white.
Yeah. So did you head straight back to Bristol for a party?
Yeah,
what happened?
Was. As I recall, so we stopped off at the closest offie, whatever. After Wembley, it's got loads of beers and loads of this and the other. So we were drinking on the coach, this and the other, blah blah blah. Went out on the night out, and I think so. I had a holiday booked the day after or 2 days after Wembley. With the missus. Yeah. But then the boys, because I'd already booked it before I signed with Rovers, the boys then went out to Magaluf, so I was gutted. I couldn't go. I was like, oh, what do I do?
I bet your missus wasn't gutted though.
No, she wasn't gutted at all. No sympathy whatsoever. So they went out to Magaluf as well. So they probably got the best stories of it all, which I'm not privy to, but. The night of winning it was amazing. Yeah, no holds barred, drink what you want. Yeah, just have a great time.
Yeah, because I think you rented out a hotel bar in Bristol, didn't you? And there was that infamous video of DC. What can you remember of that?
I can remember all he was he said I think he might have said a speech. He was stood up on the bar.
He'd had a few beers. I mean, the video circulated afterwards, and obviously he got a lot of stick from the Grimsby Telegraph after another drunken speech, because he went into the Queen Vic, which is a notorious Rovers pub on Gloucester Road, and he done a speech saying that we will get promoted, and this is when we were in the playoffs.
Oh right,
and then obviously the Grimsby paper were like, okay, he's really cocky. He thinks he's won this already. So I think his speech was in honor of that.
One thing about Darrell Clarke, he's not afraid of a beer. To be fair to him, but yeah, he got the club going, he got the bar going. To fair, and I think we started singing. I can't remember what the song was, but yeah, that was brilliant. That would go down in history as well. What wouldn't it? Of a memorable moment, but the whole night is kind of a blur to this, but it was such a good night, definitely.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, what I would give to be a part of that, it did look great. I mean, who were the real characters in the squad when it kind of comes to drinking and?
Ellis is a character regardless. 9 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock at night. Any time of the day, Ellis Harrison was a character.
He's got energy, hasn't he?
A lot of energy, yeah. A lot of energy. Doesn't know how to turn it off sometimes. Who else? Matty Taylor was good. Jake Gosling was hilarious.
Yeah.
If you needed a laugh, it was Jake Gosling.
Gibraltar's international record scorer.
Yeah, that's the one. Who else? Parksy was quite quiet, to be fair to him. But you could all drink Parksy. So was Dan Ledbetter. I remember he's the fittest man I've ever seen in football, by the way. Dan Ledbetter.
I mean, aesthetically or actually his performance. I mean, good looking chap as well.
No, I ain't so fat on him, but
no.
Yeah, he was the cool and calm and collected as well. You know, just sipping his drink by the bar and stuff. But
Yeah, I remember he got me and a few mates into the League Two promotion party actually. So yeah,
all right.
Got to thank Leds for that. And then Mark McChrystal as well. He's obviously not. I don't think he's a drinker, and he's
he
not
didn't
the
drink.
loudest of characters. But what was he like as a captain and a leader?
He was a good captain. To be fair, he was model pro, nice and calm. Like never really had to raise his voice or never would really. He always spoke to you like with respect and whatnot, which was nice.
Could you understand what he was saying though, Nate?
Probably not on the pitch, no. You really do have to hone in and listen to what he's trying to say to you, which
yeah, I don't have a clue.
But he was a good lad and good captain. Definitely.
Yeah. So obviously the promotion meant Rovers back in the football league. I mean, for yourself personally, your chances probably became limited in the League Two season.
Yeah.
How do you kind of view the end of your Rovers career?
I would say sour, but life's too short, so it is what it is. And what I've done afterwards, you know, I would take. Do you know what I mean? So I've played in League One now. I played for Plymouth. You know, got promoted twice afterwards. So you know, things happen in football. It's one of them things. But I would say the way it kind of happened was, I think when I came into Rovers, I was on such a high, and then when it came to the start of pre-season, it kind of you got to start for yourself and start from the bottom again and kind of get there, which I tried. That season, I thought I'm going into League Two. It's going to be a lot more physical, so I put on a load of muscle. I think people saw in the pre-season, they were like, "Oh my gosh, Bliss's come back like an absolute beast," kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which I did, but then it was kind of I'm carrying all that extra muscle. I couldn't get around probably as well as I did the season before. So it kind of took away from my game. Plus to the fact that the manager came to me and said, "Listen, I'm looking to go for smaller strikers."
Okay.
That was his kind of his ethos for that season. So, I mean, I can't shrink, can I? It's one of them things that there's not much I could do in that respect. So
get your Smurf outfit on, Bliss.
Yeah, I could have tried that, to be fair.
So I mean, was the style of play particularly different between National League and League Two? If that DC wanted to go for smaller strikers, a less direct style?
Not really. I think he wanted to capitalise on the fact that it would be more physical. So to circumvent the physical battle of maybe a 50-50, go with smaller strikers that the physical players can't kind of deal with. Agile, more nimble. So I got the science behind it, if you would. I understood. But obviously, there's not much I can do in that respect to get in. So it was hard for me to take in that respect. And I kind of not lost my head, but it was hard for me to kind of figure out how I could, you know, progress from there. So it was one of them where, do I go out on loan? Which I did. That didn't really work. I think I went out on loan twice. So I went to Tranmere, I went to Lincoln.
So was that a mutual decision? The loan move? Did you want that move yourself?
Where did I go first? I went to Tranmere. Tranmere was Tranmere definitely was, because you know it was another big club. I wanted to get games. I wanted to play, and you know I liked the fact of playing for another big club. So yeah, Tranmere was mutual. They did want to keep me, but after the first month there, I was in and out, and I didn't really like the setup how it was. So I was, no, it's not for me really. So I said to the gaffer I wanted to come back and kind of fight for my place, which in turn he basically said, no, it's not going to happen. So I came back for a little bit, and then I went on loan again to Lincoln. And the same kind of thing happened where I was in and out. And again, the way, because to be fair to DC, the training and the structure of the club was so well run that when I went elsewhere and it wasn't the same, I just didn't enjoy it. I didn't like it. It didn't feel right. So it was something that I wasn't comfortable doing it, and I felt, not that I was wasting my time, because that's disrespectful, but it just wasn't for me. That's the best way to describe it. I was away from home, and I wasn't enjoying it. So there was just, I was outside of my comfort zone a lot. So when I came back the second time from Lincoln, I just thought, you know what, I'm just gonna have to buckle down here and put in the extra hours, which I did. I was I don't know, when did I come back? I came back towards the December, maybe November. I came back to Lincoln. At this stage, I still hadn't made my league debut, which that was in the back of my head. I was like, I've done so well for Bristol. I want to get my league debut. That's the one thing I've always wanted, growing up. I want to play in the league. That's what everyone's kind of dream is. So I just buckled down, got the graft in, put the hard work in, and I could finally see the gaffer, kind of turning his head and, all right, yeah, he's doing this, he's doing that. He's making improvements. And I was getting there. I was getting back to the level I was. And I came on, I made a few sub appearances. But then I think in the end, they wanted to bring in another striker. I think it was Rory Gaffney they brought in. And for him to come in, I had to go out. And he basically said, I need to go back out on loan. And I said, I'm not.
Did that feel bittersweet then, your league debut? Because obviously, like you said, you dreamt about that as a kid, but then you kind of knew your Rovers career was at an end. That must have been a strange feeling.
Yeah, it was definitely bittersweet. Obviously, that's what you go into training ground for, to play on the weekend, to play on the Tuesday. And to know that in the back of my head, I'm fighting a losing battle here, it was kind of hard to take. Like I said, it's sour, but it's football at the end of the day. That's the profession I'm in. So you just got to take it. And when he wanted me to go back out alone, I was like, it's not going to do anything for me. I need to be playing. I need somewhere concrete. And so we decided to part ways. We mutually terminated my contract, and I kind of took a couple of weeks out from the game from there, and just kind of gathered my thoughts, what do I want to do? Where do I want to go? And to be honest, I thought, the phone's going to be ringing off the hook. I'll get somewhere straight away. So it's not going to be a problem, which it didn't. So that was kind of an eye-opener for me as well, in respect of, you can't take anything for granted. And then from then, I worked with Kevin Nicholson at Kidderminster Harriers, and then he became the Torquay manager. And he was like, get yourself down here, and I'll turn you into the beast that you once was. And from there, it was history, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you had... Did you have a permanent spell with Lincoln as well? So I was looking at the stats. You managed to have a pretty decent record there.
No.
No. Okay. Yeah.
Which stats are they?
Yeah. No, because I saw a little loan spell, and then it looked like kind of 1 in 2 for Lincoln for a bit. But was that probably more Torquay then?
That was definitely Torquay. Yeah. So after Lincoln, my next club would have been Torquay, and that was 1 in 2. Yeah, that's when they had a strength conditioning coach there that was a guru. I call him the guru because he knew his stuff, and he turned me into an absolute animal. And that season is where I kind of I got back to where I was, and I was just unplayable. To say it myself, I was unplayable. And I got him out of, there were 10 points at adrift at the bottom, and from the end of January to the end of the season, we would have been a top four team. We just absolutely smashed it, and we got out with games to spare. Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, and then obviously Plymouth Argyle, that they came in for you after your impressive form at Torquay, and I mean, with Plymouth, ended up getting a promotion to League One. So did you ever think that would happen when you left Rovers for the National League?
I felt like I would be able to play in the league again, definitely. But it was just, I'd have to try and, it was just basically timing and someone else taking a stab at me, really, which they did. I was grateful. Again, they brought me, I was the first person they brought again for however many years. So, I must have been doing something right at Torquay. And yet, to be fair, when I went there, I knew that they were like second in the league. So I knew that they were thereabouts. They were going to get promoted 4 go up in League Two. So it was pretty much bang on that we were going to do it. And then going there from Torquay was a massive eye-opener. in terms of the manager's style. How he was literally, we work. We were in until 4:00 every day, kind of thing. Double sessions every day. It was a lot to take in, and I was kind of treading water when I went there because it was a lot, and it was a lot to adjust to. But yeah, it was enjoyable, and I enjoyed my time there. And I got promoted. And I got another medal. I'm here somewhere. So it was definitely worth my time. And to play in League One again was another massive thing that I was able to accomplish. So.
Yeah, and you infamously scored against Rovers at the Men in League One. How did that feel?
I didn't want to bring it up, but if you're going to bring it up,
let's talk about it. I mean,
we can talk about it.
I mean, Rovers ended up winning the game. So, I mean, you scoring, Rovers winning. I mean, it was the perfect afternoon, I'd say.
Well, okay, so start of the season, you get the fixtures, who's playing who. And bam, I saw that game at the Memorial. I earmarked that from day one. I want to play in that game. Whatever happens, I want to play in that game. Start of the season, we were playing well. I was playing well. I was starting. I think we had a few injuries. And then Ryan Taylor, who was our main striker at the time, he came back. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to play in this game. 2-3 weeks down the line, he gets another niggling injury. The game before Rovers. So again, I was like, okay, it's back on game. I've got to play in this game. Coming round to the game, all I'm thinking of is I have got to play well and I've got to score against Worcester Rovers. Yeah. Just to show everyone who doubted me, the manager, whoever, you know what I mean, what they missed out on. And yeah, like I played out of my skin in that game, and yeah, scored a good goal. That's one goal I will always remember.
A great finish.
Yeah, it was one of my better finishes, and I think if you saw my celebration afterwards, it was just kind of relief and like a lot of anger that's coming out, kind of thing. I think I had about four of my teammates on my back. I was carrying them around the pitch, and but yeah, that was a very, 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 very good game, and I enjoyed that one.
Did you manage to catch up with DC after the game? If so, what did you say to him?
No, it was funny because obviously Bristol wanted to have a chat with the media team or whatever, and we had to go. The old stadium, you have to go downstairs into like a basement where they have the press conference.
Yeah, it's not the best of facilities, is it?
Yeah, so I've gone down, walked into a room, and then he's there already in a press conference with 6-7 press officers. We catch eyes, and he just kind of looks away. I just kind of look away, and that was it, kind of thing. But yeah, it is what it is, kind of thing. I enjoyed the moment, so I'll take that.
And did you speak to any of the players about it? Any of the Rovers players about it?
I wouldn't really, not really. I mean, we spoke a bit afterwards the game, saying how you doing. They congratulated me on my goal and stuff, and said all the best for the rest of the season. But I mean, I wouldn't really say I was overly close with anyone of the Rovers team. Obviously, we've done something amazing, so we'd always have fun memories of that. But there wasn't no real friendships, I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was all amicable and yeah, all good.
Yeah, if you went Magaluf, it could have been so very different.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I mean, your career since you left Plymouth, so you had a spell with Macclesfield and now you're with Solihull Moors?
Yep. So again, Macclesfield, we were National League champions. I came in and, we kept on doing well, and we got the big championship. So I've got that medal as well. Which for myself, I played a pivotal role in. So yeah, I was very happy with that. Solihull Moors, we missed out by, I think it was 1 point last year, which was heartbreaking because again, coming in and playing a pivotal role to miss out by that much, and then the playoffs, we never really turned up, to be honest, for the playoffs. The new style with the playoffs is it's 2 to 7, and then 7-6, 5-4 play a game. Whoever wins that plays 3-2. So it's kind of you kind of miss a week and then you play a game when you finish second or third. And it, in most respects, for the lower, if you finish lower, you kind of can build that momentum and push you on to the semi-final and the final.
Yeah.
And I think we just kind of got caught with our heels in the ground a bit.
Yeah, it's often the team that is kind of the lowest in those playoff spots that do get promotion in the end via the playoffs because momentum, like you say. But you're enjoying your football at the moment?
Yeah, so this season has been a very, very difficult, strange, and obviously now non-existent. But I started the season off on fire. I scored a hat-trick in like my third game. So yeah, I was on 4 goals in like 4 games, something like that. And then I had a massive injury, like the first major injury of my career, when I tore my PCL ligament in my knee. So I was out for like 3 months. So from then, I'm trying to kind of fight back and get back to where I was. And, you know, sometimes it doesn't feel right. Sometimes you don't feel like you can do what you can do. So that's been an eye-opener for me for this season. Kind of, it helps you grow, to be fair. And it makes you aware of, again, how fickle of a career you might have. So my eyes are really kind of, depending on what happens this season, more so to next, really. And, you know, trying to, see what happens, really.
Yes, I mean, obviously it is a really strange situation where there's no football at all at the moment. What are you doing with the downtime? Are you able to train at all, or is it just staying indoors?
Well, yeah, mainly staying indoors. I've bought, you know, gym equipment for outside in the garden to, you know, do my gym equipment. The little one's doing it with me, which is quite cute.
Yeah.
And, you know, going for regular jogs and whatnot. But yeah, it's a strange one. We've never had anything like it, so you can't really judge it, really. It's just got to go day by day with it.
So, Nate, as I said before we came live, we put a tweet and Facebook post out saying that you're appearing on GasCast today. Has anyone got any questions? And we got so many questions. So I'm going to run through a few of those. Some of them we've actually touched upon in the main interview, so that brings it down a little bit. So first one is from GasCast's very own Max Alderson. The best dressing room atmosphere / story other than Wembley at your time at Rovers?
The best atmosphere?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of generally banter and kind of, the best kind of feelings in the changing room.
So what is that, a specific game?
Yeah, or just if there's any kind of stories from the squad of players, anything that sticks out.
There is one story, I'm trying to remember it now, but DC comes into the dressing room. This is at training. He comes in, he does something, I think it was to Matty Taylor.
Yeah.
Oh, what does he do? It might have been for Jake Gosling's first international cap.
Oh, I mean, the video of that is actually out there somewhere.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I remember watching that, and that was incredible.
That was really good that day.
Yeah, no, that seemed seemed pretty hilarious, to be fair. And you saying earlier, Jake Gosling is normally kind of full of banter and a lot to say for himself, but he seemed very sheepish then. I think DC pretty much owned him. I think it was quite a sarcastic presentation, let's say, about his 2 goals for Gibraltar. But yeah, I mean, I think that video just showed what the camaraderie was like in the team.
Yeah, it was really good that season.
George Clements on Twitter asks, favourite goal you've ever scored?
Might be against Bristol Rovers, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
It might be that one, yeah.
Well, the way you described it did seem like a big one.
Yeah. It was in League One. It was against, obviously, Bristol was at the Mem. Yeah, it was my first full in League One as well. So, yeah, I'll probably say, because it's the highest goal I've ever scored kind of thing in terms of... So, yeah, I'll have to go with that one. Sorry, George.
And your favourite goal for the Gas?
Favourite goal for Gas? Might be my first one, actually. Which I'll tell you now, it hit me, but then hit the defender and went in. So it's technically an own goal, but because it happened so quickly.
Arm up in the air, claim it.
Yeah.
It's good. If I'm right in remembering, you kind of went down. It was in front of the Blackthorn. Was it your first goal?
No, so my first goal was against Chester away.
Oh, okay.
So because obviously I literally I signed on the Wednesday after playing at the Mem, and then it was an away game on the Saturday. So that would be that I can remember. But actually, when I came on against Welling, we were either drawing 1-1 or losing, drawing 1-1 or 0-0, and I came on. I beat the offside trap. I ran in. I tried to dink the keeper, so I've dinked him. It's come back off the keeper and it slapped me straight in the face and trickled into the goal. Yeah. And that's my favourite goal, actually. Yeah, that one.
They all count.
Exactly.
This one from @MankGas. Have you still got the wreck of a car you had when you were at Rovers, Nath?
The wreck of a car?
Yeah, apparently you had a wreck of a car, according to @MankGas.
I don't know.
What whip did you have?
I had when I first signed, I had a BMW 1 Series, so it wasn't too bad.
I wouldn't call that a wreck.
I know, yeah. It might have got me mixed up with someone else, but I quickly upgraded from my thankful contract at Bristol to a Mercedes. So I don't know. You might be mixed up with someone else.
Has he? Okay, that's embarrassing for him then. So next one isn't a question but a statement. So this is from @WillBRFC. So not a question. Just tell him that I love him, please.
I love you too, mate. It's mutual, very mutual.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And then from Jack Husher, favourite Rovers chant?
I had a chant and I can't remember it. I had a chant.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what it would have been actually.
If someone can find the chant or remember the chant, that'd be great, because I definitely did, but I can't remember what it is now.
Okay, over to the listeners on that one. And any other Rovers chants that stick in your mind?
No.
just only got ears for your own chants.
Yeah,
mate.
Just my own, please. Thank you.
So
Irene, well, we've got to say Irene.
Irene. I mean, it's not a bad one, eh? I mean,
when they sing that, and for instance, the night games, they sing that, and they have all the torches at the Blackthorn. That's pretty amazing. Like, the players appreciate that. That's something real nice to play in front of. Definitely.
Yeah, I got to admit, when it does get going on a big game, it's such a special feeling, isn't it? And so it's really palpable for the players. It galvanizes you on the pitch.
Yeah, definitely. You definitely feel that in the atmosphere, 100%.
Yeah, could you give us a little rendition now, Nate? Do you remember Okay, we'll let you off for that one. Final question, Nate. So this is from @SleepyGas. Out of the Rovers playoff winning promotion with Plymouth and winning the league with Macclesfield, which party had the biggest bar bill?
The biggest bar bill?
Yeah. Or what was the most lit?
It might be the Macclesfield one, because we did that over 2 days, and the first day we went out in our tracksuits.
Yeah,
we didn't even get changed. That was intense. We went all over. Macclesfield's only small, but we went all over Macclesfield. Got in everywhere for free. Because it's close-knit town, close-knit club kind of thing.
Does it even have a nightclub?
It does. I can't remember what it's called. I can't remember now. But Macclesfield. Yeah.
Well, Nathan Blissett, it's been an absolute pleasure. As I said at the start, a cult hero for the Gas. I mean, you're going to be remembered fondly for years and years. I know people are going to this. All that leaves me to say is thank you very much for coming on. Thank you for the great memories at the Gas, and
I appreciate it.
Yeah, take it
No,
steady.
thanks for having me as well. Thanks for having me. Yes, it's good to have a little trip there, memory lane now and again, isn't it? So I appreciate it, and all the best in regards to whatever happens now.
So yeah, Nathan Blissett, absolute pleasure. All the best.
Cheers, mate.
Nice
Catch
one.
you soon.
Top man, take it steady.
See ya. Bye bye.